So namaste, hello everyone. I just switched on, so I'm going to sit for a few moments because we will start our session at 12:30, our lunchtime session. And if you just need space, but if you have a yoga belt, or if you just have a scarf or some socks or a tie lying around, then bring that along. You don't need anything fancy. I was thinking if I had anything lying around, but basically just something you could hold on to like this. So that could be a t-shirt, something like that. So you do all the equipment. It's always nice to have. So if you have yoga blocks, have them near you. If you have a blanket or some cushions, that's also good to have, just because it just gives a little bit more options. I'm just going to move this camera a little bit around. Sorry. I think there should be plenty of space. Yeah, I think that works. See how much can you see of my yoga mat? I think you can see everything. So yeah, so if you're joining me for some lunchtime yoga, just say hello, write in the comment box, and even if you are joining me for yoga later on and you're not live, just say hello anyway, and that you're here practicing. And if you're practicing, you know, you can take a photo, you can tag me in the photo, and I can share it if you're happy for me to do that. It's always nice to see you practicing and how you're practicing. You can see my living room space, and yeah, so this is a homemade studio, rather different. Usually on a Thursday lunchtime, I'm in an office building and we are practicing yoga in an office or meeting room. Very different sizes and lights. So sometimes in a beautiful big space, and sometimes we are in a smaller meeting room. So we can practice anywhere. So just find your space and your yoga mats, and if you're watching, just say hello. So obviously, again, I'm just talking I'm just talking until we start in a few minutes. But yeah, the classes are free, so you can share them. They're on Facebook and YouTube, but they stay on Instagram. Obviously, they're just there for 24 hours, but you can catch up on Facebook or later on. But a way that you can support me during this time is to, you know, share these posts, press the share button, tag someone in the post that might benefit from a yoga session. So that's useful. And obviously I have a donation button through PayPal as well if you would like to support me financially. So I think that's it. We're nearly getting ready to start. So if you are on Facebook, usually I can see if you write comments in it. So if you're on Facebook and you're watching and you're joining me, just put something in the comment box so I can see you are around and that we're practicing together. Beautiful. So I think we will just start sitting. So you can, I'm going to move a little bit away from the screen towards the yoga mat, but we will start sitting down. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on a couple of cushions, you can sit on yoga blocks. So just for now, I'm just going to take some cushions to sit on. And it's just to elevate your seat so it feels easier in the hips and in your knee joints. So coming into a comfortable seat, you can sit cross-legged, however it's comfortable in your body. And rest your hands on your knees or on your lap. And you can close the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Or if you keep your eyes open, just have a soft gaze. So you are arriving on your mat. And I am aware that if you're working from home, that transition can be challenging. But just take a moment to find your seat so you can just take a moment, settle onto the mat, and knowing that for the next hour or so, this is your time. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to be anything. You're just breathing and moving the body. So staying seated, if you need to wriggle around and move around a bit, then go ahead. So letting all those fidgety bits come out of the way. But sometimes it's just that the body wants to rock, sway, and then you allow the body to do that. With the hands on your thighs or knees, the elbows are softly bent. Allow the elbows to become heavy so that the shoulder blades can release away from the ears. And you have space in your neck. So the shoulder blades are releasing away from the ears. The neck is long, and you can release the head a little bit just to create that space. The whole jaw can release, so all the way from one ear across the chin to the other ear. Just feel the whole jaw releasing. The tongue can relax, the inner eyes. And then feel the crown of the head extending towards the sky. Just a few moments of just sitting. We are entering into a new lunar cycle. It's a new moon, so we are entering into this new cycle. So as you're sitting in your meditation, you might just have this intention in your heart, or a prayer, an affirmation for this new lunar cycle, the new month. As the moon starts to grow, so can your intention. And today, as it is a new moon, we will just do it's quite a gentle, mindful flow. But we are creating space to receive and to bring this new affirmation into alignment. So our focus today will be that openness around our heart, our rib cage, our neck, and our shoulders. So to free the heart for whatever we want to manifest from our hearts is always a good thing. And so here, gently rest one hand to the center of your chest and the other hand to the crown of the head. So So having that sense of connecting to your heart center, so your energetic heart, your spiritual heart, and then the crown of your head, whatever visions you may have. And then imagine the crown of the head can lift up into the palm of the hand. So you're expansive yet grounded. Keep feeling that lift with the center of the chest, the sternum, the crown of the head into your hand. Feel the neck and just release. And then go ahead and bring the palms together in a prayer. And then we will start our session with a single Om. So let's breathe in. Om. And open the eyes. Beautiful. So ready to move again? We'll come on to the hands and knees. So again, if you need support under your knees, your cushions can be a good thing. Otherwise, you find yourself on your hands and knees, shoulders over the heels of the hands and knees underneath the hips. And we'll just start to move gently. So we can inhale and look up, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, lift with the pelvic floor, the lower abdomen, and you stretch between the shoulder blades. The inhale, broaden the collarbone as your heart extends forward. And exhale, spread between the shoulder blades. So just in your own rhythm, keep this movement going. So this is your body and your sensations in your body, however your body needs to move and to flow. So just keep that movement. Inhaling, broadening the collarbones. Exhale, stretch between the shoulder blades. So our focus today is that whole space around the rib cage. So we can move the hips, we can move the neck, but our focus is the shoulders and the ribs, the chest, the throat. Go ahead and look forward, straightening the arms, roll the shoulders away from the ears, tuck the toes under. We can lift through our seat, lifting the sitting bones towards the sky. You can have your one knee bent, straighten the other, just for a few moments as we come into our downward facing dog. Really nice. And so obviously tension or anything we are restricted in, holding our breath, so we want to breathe. We want to create space to receive the breath and to offer it out. The waves of the breath. So as you're in your downward dog, press your hands down, straighten your arms, and then lift the hips away from the rib cage. So even here you're creating space for your body to breathe. So now we'll flow with the breath. Inhale into a plank push, shoulders over the heels of the hands. Stay here breathing. You can bring the knees to the floor, but you keep engaging your core and the knees will drop further away from your hips. You can keep your legs super strong and straight. Again, lift up into your shoulder blades so you breathe into your back body. This is where we have the most space for our lungs to breathe. So breathe into your back body. From here, we'll lower down very slowly on an exhale. So we draw the elbows back. The knees can be bent or straight. You lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, the cobra pose. The belly stays on the floor. The heart extends forward. Really feel that opening between the shoulder, or stretch between the shoulder blades. Or an upward dog. Your hands and your feet are on the floor, but your knees and thighs are off the mat. Lift out of the shoulders. Heart extends. Downward facing dog. So let's do that again. So your variation. Inhale into a plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. So from here, let's walk the feet to the hands, standing forward bend. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, so we had a half forward bend. Exhale, fold it all the way. Inhale, come halfway up. Bring the hands to the hips, so you straighten your back, shoulders away from the ears. You can bend the knees if you like. Coming all the way to standing, hands to the center of the chest. So let's flow from here. Inhale, reach your prayer to the sky. Exhale, fold it forward, standing forward bend. Inhale to come halfway up and fold it as you exhale. Step your right leg back, left leg back, plank pose, and lower down. Inhale, cobra, upward dog. Downward facing dog. Step the feet together at the back of the mat. Reach your left leg behind you, one-legged downward dog, but keep space in your right waist. Downward facing dog again. Right leg extends. Again, keep that left hip extending away from you. Step the right foot forward. Keep the left hand on the floor, right arm to the sky. Spinal twist. And breathe. So variations here, you can always drop the left knee to the floor. You can always have a wider step so the right foot could come further out to your right side. Bring the right hand to the ground. Left foot forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine and fold. Inhale, reach all the way to standing. Hands to the center of the heart. Beautiful. One more time, but with the left leg. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale to lengthen through the chest and fold. Step the left leg back. Take your right leg back and you're in your plank. Slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra, upward dog. Downward facing dog, stepping the feet together. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Extend your right leg away from you. It doesn't need to come to the ceiling. It can come halfway. Downward facing dog. Left leg extends. And keep both super strong. Take that left foot between the hands. Again, right knee can be straight or on the ground. Left arm towards the sky, spinal twist. Bring the left hand to the floor. Right foot steps forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms towards the sky and hands to the center of the chest. Beautiful. So we'll stay at the front of the mat. I'll just face you. But you can stay in your Tadasana. Feet underneath the hips are together. Feel the feet grounding you and supporting you. So whatever we want to grow, welcome into our life or into the world, we want that to be grounded, supported, and have a strong foundation. So our feet are firmly placed on the floor. We can extend the arms all the way up to the side, towards the ceiling, towards the sky if you're lucky to be outside. Grab hold of your left wrist, stretch that left side, and then we'll extend towards our right side. So keep that openness in the waist, in the ribs. So we are creating space, taking in the breath, stretching the intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs. We create space for our breath. Right, so all the way back up, both arms towards the sky, left hand onto your right wrist and extend. I love these sideways stretches because even just that stretch into the hips and into the psoas really will start to find more space to breathe, not just because of the intercostal muscles, but because of the tension in the plexus. So unless you collapse forward and down, you really get that openness, and it just feels, this feels so invigorating. Come all the way back up. Bring the hands to the heart. Now take your hands behind your back. If you have your yoga belt or your tie or whatever you might have, then probably have your hands just a little bit closer than your shoulders behind your back, holding on to your whatever you're holding on to, and we'll fold forward, holding on to our belt. So if you feel folding forward is really difficult and you're rounding your back, then just bend your knees a bit, or a lot even. Your hands are traveling away from the lower back, and if that's challenging, just create more space between the hands. So you could also interlock your fingers here, but sometimes it's just nice to have a bit of a different movement. You can move your arms from side to side. So as if we could literally squeeze out any tension behind our heart, so between the shoulder blades. Then release the belt to the floor, release the hands to the ground. Inhale, come halfway up and fold it all the way. So now your hands are on the ground again. Let's take the left leg back. Take the right leg back and you're in your plank pose. Now your choice, you can stay in your plank pose or the knees come down into a half plank. We will keep that plank awareness for our torso. So crown of the hip to the tailbone in that nice strong alignment. And then lift up into your shoulder blades. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together as if you move your chest closer to the floor. And then lift up again. So the movement here, the only place you feel it will be in your shoulders. You're not rounding or arching the back, but what you're trying to isolate is really the movement in the shoulders. So you move your shoulders away and stretch between them. Shoulders are moving towards each other and away from each other. So my torso is not actually moving. It will do on your plank pose variation or half plank. But this is the only movement that you will see as the shoulders are moving towards each other. You're stretching between the shoulder blades. So we are finding that potential for strength and for openness. Are you still breathing? Still moving? So it might feel challenging to get that, and that's fine. But eventually you will get that stretch between the shoulders, shoulder blades move towards each other. So finding that strength and that support. Really good. You can take a moment in child's pose or a downward dog. Well done. And breathe. So just notice that you're warming up across the shoulders, finding a bit of fluidity here. Wonderful. So let's meet in a downward facing dog. Lift the hips high. And again, support through the shoulders. Come forward into a plank pose. Slowly lower down. Inhale to cobra, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So let's simply walk the feet to the front of the mat. So again, you're in that standing forward bend. You can grab hold of your belt or your socks once again, allowing your arms to move from side to side, again squeezing any tension that's accumulated between the shoulder blades and the front of the chest around your heart. So freeing that up so that you can move into this new lunar cycle from an open heart, no restrictions. Release the hands to the floor. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Fold it forward. Inhale, reach all the way up, arms to the sky, and hands to the heart. Beautiful. So we'll flow again. So standing at the top of the mat, I'll just shift it around, just for demonstration purposes. So you can stay however you want to do. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale, lengthening through the spine, and then fold it. Right leg back, left leg back, plank pose. Again, lower down. Inhale to cobra, upward dog. Downward facing dog. Now extend that right leg behind you. Step the foot between the hands, back foot flat, warrior two pose. Beautiful. So keeping that openness for the legs, grounded, supported through the body. And breathe. So we'll keep that movement through the shoulders. So imagining we're moving literally from inside the shoulder. You'll turn the palms towards the ceiling or as far as you can, and then all the way down and around. So you keep that stability through your warrior pose, but the movement we are focusing on is in the arms. So again, I'll come closer to the screen. You are turning the palms, but the movement is all the way from your shoulders. Palms of the hands is where we can see the movement easiest, but the movement is all the way from your shoulder girdle. Does that make sense? Beautiful. So that we're still in our warrior pose. Let the palms turn up. Extend through your fingertips and imagine that palms turning up. You're receiving, you're taking in, and your heart is open. Straighten both legs. Extend your right arm as far as you can, be on your right foot. Hand to your thigh, shin at the floor. We're in our triangle pose. And so again, we are moving from our heart. So we'll move the arm, but the movement comes from our heart. So let's extend that left arm all the way towards the left. And then to the floor, you stretch between the shoulder blades. And stretch the arm all the way beyond your head. Feel that little twist that your torso will be doing as you lift your heart. And then the left arm towards the sky, broadening the collarbones. And down again. So just left arm. Allowing the movement to arise from your heart. Wonderful. Here, let's bend the right knee again. Take your hands to your inside of your right foot. Keep your warrior two variation of your legs, but walk your hands kind of to the front left corner of your mat. Just stay on the fingertips. You can put your hands on blocks. And breathe deeply. You keep the legs strong. If your right hip swings out to the side, you take it back in. Your hands can slide away from you, but you keep that support through your legs. And then slowly walk your hands all the way towards your left foot. Left toes point to the end of the mat, right toes slightly in. Warrior two pose. Wonderful. And so once you're in your warrior two pose, again you find your setup. How are your legs feeling? Where do they need to go? Arms extend. And then you start to notice, where are your shoulders? How can you create a little bit more space? So this time we'll stay here, but we'll turn the palms up, but allow that movement again to come all the way from your shoulder girdle. So as if you're moving from your heart, opening up, welcoming this new month. So this is the lunar month. then straighten both legs. Extend your left arm as far as you can, bringing your left hand to your thigh, shin on the floor, right arm to the sky. And so again, from our hearts, welcoming in. Extend that right arm all the way towards the right foot. Stretch between the shoulder blades as the hand moves to the floor. And then as it extends beyond your head, lift your heart to the sky. And again, circling that right arm. So your own rhythm. I'm in slow motion today. So your one might be more dynamic. Sometimes the slow movement, you can just feel and wake up all the different muscles, all the different cells in the body. We can imagine, at least we can feel them wake up. And then move into our warrior two pose, bending that left knee. Arms extend again, warrior two. We'll come into that humble warrior, but with the fingers on the earth. So hands to the inside of the left foot. Again, your hands can be on blocks. So if this feels challenging in your hips, your hands on blocks, maybe even forearm on thigh. Keep that left hip drawing in. And then you can choose to walk your fingertips further forward, extending from your hips to your armpits. And then slowly walk your hands to the left foot, down a dog or child's pose. Again, your variation. You can stay in a child's pose or down the dog, or you come forward into a plank pose. Lower halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into a cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Wonderful. So let's just take a deep breath in. Stay here breathing. Deep breath in. Exhale it all the way out. That deep, expansive inhale. The long, complete exhale. Really nice. So just feeling that pulsation of how we can breathe. Expansive, contracting. Just the waves of the breath. Perfect. And so from here, let's step the feet together. Reach your right leg behind you. Downward facing dog. Left leg extends. Step the foot between the hands, back foot flat. Warrior two pose again. Wonderful. Straighten both legs. We'll come into triangle. Right hand, left hand on the thigh or shin or floor. This time, right hand to your right hip. So just find extension. Left thigh rotating out. Right foot is pressing down. So your legs are grounded and supported. The tendency can be that we are collapsing down. But today, we are opening up. So as you press into your right hip with your right hand, feel that your heart is moving to your right shoulder blade, as if you could have your heart just up towards the sky. So we'll keep this alignment as we move into Adho Chandrasana, half moon pose. So we'll step the right foot closer to the left. If you have a block, then take your block or your chair or your sofa table in front of your left foot. So maybe a foot in front. Left fingertips to the floor or block. Right toes moving towards you. And then you extend. So right leg extends away from you towards the opposite wall. heart towards the sky. Ooh. And you might fall out of the pose, you might come back in again. But think of the openness. So you could even lean against the wall here. You can keep the right hand on the hip or right arm towards the sky. But expansive, light, open. And then slowly release it all the way back. You're back in your warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips as you straighten the legs. Turn the toes to the long side of the mat. And we'll fold into a forward bend with the feet wide apart. So you can have your hands on the floor. You can grab hold of the opposite elbow. And you breathe. Release the hands to come halfway up. Bring the hands to the hips and rise all the way up. Wonderful. So let's enjoy on the other side. So if you have your block, then take your block to the other side, or if you're by your chair, just turn around. Bend your right knee, warrior two pose, just for a moment. It doesn't need to be a wide warrior pose. Straightening the leg, and we come into our triangle pose. Left hand to the left hip. And again, just take a moment to feel this pose. Feel how you radiate through the legs down into the earth. So you are grounded, you are rooting down. That's the support. Heart towards the sky. Really nice. Then we can go ahead, step the feet a little bit closer together. Bring your right fingertips to the floor, left leg extends. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. And so I often say this is the half moon pose. I know it's just the new moon, but I love this variation because it feels open, like we're extending in all these different directions. And yet we have the support and stability or potential for it. So even if you're wriggling around, so we come in it, stay in the pose if you're in it. If you come out, come back in. It's just easier for me to talk when I'm out of the pose. So we are extending in all different directions. Possibilities in all directions. This is half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. But I always say it's when I look in the room, and even when I'm in the variation myself, it feels more like I'm a star on the big sky, the sky that's infinite number of stars in the infinite sky. You know, so we have all these possibilities. And we are here, you know, our actual life is just that blink in the universal time, you know, but we are part of it. So shine your light. Slowly flow back, warrior two pose. Bring your hands to your right foot. Come into a downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, bring your knees on the floor. Keep your hips over your knees, but walk your hands forward. So either your head can rest on the floor or your heart can rest on the floor. then bring your forearms on the floor. We'll come into forearm plank pose. So you can straighten your legs, lift up into your shoulder blades again, but shoulders are reaching away from your ears, the crown of the head forward. And just feel that fire in your belly, your sacred fire of transformation. Release the pelvis down, shoulders over the elbows, so you're in Sphinx pose. And again in Sphinx pose, you lift out of the shoulders, heart extends forward, tailbone can release down towards the earth. And this, I know it can seem a very simple pose, but such a good variation to really get in between the shoulder blades and that tightness we sometimes have between the shoulders. This is a wonderful variation. So really feel that lift through the crown of the head again. As if someone was just touching very gently on the crown and you are lifting your head into it like a cat would. Like when a cat really wants to cuddle. That's how your head wants to do now. Up towards the sky. Stay here, bend your knees. And just feel that extension again in your lower back, tailbone draws towards the mat, heart extends upwards and forwards. So no pain in your lower back. Release all the way down, you can shake your hips. And then slide your hands underneath the shoulders, coming into cobra, upward dog, downward facing dog. Extend your right leg behind you. Step the foot between your hands, back foot flat, warrior two pose. Straighten both legs, triangle pose. Right hand to fire shin, left hand to your hip. We'll come into a half moon pose again. So this time again, step the feet closer. Usually I say left foot to right, but just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm moving to the middle of the mat. Bring your fingertips to the floor or your block or your chair, left leg extends. Now this might be your variation. Your variation can also be to bend that top leg, left foot and left hand comes together, and then you open up, pressing the foot into your hand, and that helps to get that openness across the chest. So it might just be that you're not actually touching your foot and hand together, but that potential is there, that you can open across your heart and your chest. And if the foot wants to lift up, you kind of take it behind your buttock again. So sometimes the foot wants to extend really high, and then you just take it back again, like bow pose. Then, so let's just slowly shift out. Bring the hands to the hips, straighten the legs. Come forward again. Again, interlace your fingers behind your back, or you use your belt. And again, you fold forward. If this is easy, bring your heels of your hands together. Your hands might still be on your lower back, and if they are, then I suggest using something to hold on to, whether it's your t-shirt or whatever you might be holding on to. Release the hands to the hips to come halfway up and rise all the way up. Wonderful. So let's enjoy on the other. Left toes point out, right toes in, warrior two, just for that alignment. Straighten both legs, coming into your Trikonasana triangle. And this is the alignment we have in our half moon pose. Right hand, right hip, Right foot moves forward to the left, left fingertips to the floor, right leg extends. So again, you might want to stay here. Maybe you grab hold of that foot behind you and you open up. So whatever variation you are in, you're just opening up. You might be in child's pose right now, but you're opening up to this new lunar cycle with the best intentions and the best prayers that you can feel in your heart. The potential. And you breathe. And then again you can release out of the shape. Warrior two pose. Bring your hands to the left foot. Downward facing dog or child's pose. And again you can just enjoy downward dog, child's pose, or your hands and knees. Or come into a plank pose. Lower down. Move into a back bend. And downward facing dog. This time we will pose. So we'll bring the knees down, knees wide apart, and then rest the heart towards the earth. And slowly walk your hands towards you, lifting all the way up to sitting, and just for a moment come into a comfortable seat. So I'll move a little bit further forward again, so maybe you can see me a little bit better. Lovely. So coming into a comfortable seat. So we will stay seated, but we'll keep that openness in the chest. So Gomukhasana legs. We'll start with the right leg on top of the left. So right knee over your left knee, heels on either side of your hips. So if you feel you're all the way on one sitting bone, then take a block or cushions underneath your seat. You can straighten out your bottom leg. So you just get the openness to your right side. If this is really uncomfortable in your knees, there should never be pain in your knee joint. You sit cross-legged. So there's always an option. You could just sit on your heels. You could stretch your legs out. The movement we are focusing on is really what's going on in the upper body. But if Gomukhasana is accessible for you, then right leg on top of your left, heels to the outside of your opposite hip, both sitting bones grounding you. We'll bring the palms together, the forearms towards each other. So this might be your variation, working towards bringing the elbows in. If this is easy, take your left upper arm on top of the right, maybe the back of the hands together, or right fingertips into the palm of the left hand. Fingertips towards the sky. If your shoulders are drawing up, just take them down for a moment. So again, if this is claustrophobic, you just uncross your arms. And then you notice what happens if you bring your hands away from your face, if you lift your elbows but drop the shoulders. You can close the eyes, so just stay in this variation, but you can close the eyes. And feel free to just move your head, your neck, moving the hands closer or further, away, lift or drop. spine can be fluid. So just keeping the leg and arm variation of your choice, but your neck and your spine can be fluid. Release the arms all the way up, and we'll change the position of your legs. If you're in Gomukhasana, we'll do a variation together. If not, you just uncross your legs. Right leg on top, bring your hands to your left side, and then lift your legs up. Walk all the way behind yourself and sit all the way back down. So now left knee on top of the right. So again, you make your position, whatever variation you enjoy. This might feel different. If you're cross-legged, cross the opposite way. That's it. Perfect. Bring your palms together, elbows together. Maybe you stay here. Maybe your right arm on top of the left. Back of the hands together. Or lift fingertips to right palm. Close the eyes. And let your breath guide you. Breathing in between the shoulder blades. Let the jaw, the tongue relax. Slowly uncross your arms, stretch them all the way out. Release your hands by your side, uncross the legs. Just circling your knees for a moment. And come into a comfortable seat. So again, your comfortable seat might be cross-legged or sitting on some cushions. Release your right hand by your side, but stretch it out a bit, as if you could just stretch your right shoulder down and away from your right ear. Then take your left hand towards above your head and towards your right ear, and just allow that left ear to drop towards your left shoulder. So you're not pushing or pressing, but you're just guiding. Slowly lift the head all the way back to neutral. Left hand by your side. Right arm bends all the way over your head. Right hand to your left ear. And rest your right ear towards your right shoulder. And breathe. You can keep your eyes closed to just have that soft gaze if you need to look for guidance. Otherwise, just trust your own body. And slowly lift the head up. Release your right arm. Rest your knees. And then once again, drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Just feel softness as the head drops towards your chest, the chin towards the chest. And right ear towards the right shoulder. And then again, chin to chest. Keeping the sternum lifted. Your jaw is soft. Shoulder blades relaxed. Lovely. Just a couple of more breaths like this. And we'll meet with the chin towards the chest, but the chest lifting up. Shoulders releasing down the back. Collarbones broad. And then slowly lift the head. Extend the arms out to the side and above the head. Twist to your right side, right arm behind you, left hand on your right knee or wherever it falls. Inhale, rise all the way back up and twist to the other side. Inhale, reach all the way back up into the center, hands in a prayer at your heart. And then again, rest one hand to the crown of the head, maybe the other hand to the lower abdomen. And then again, feel spaciousness. So the crown of the head extending to the sky, but you're connected to your roots, to the earth. So you're growing into the ground and towards the sky. And feel all the space between the hands. How easy your body is breathing. Receiving the breath, offering it out, being open to whatever comes from our hearts of compassion and of love. Now you can stay here with your hands, or you can rest your hands in whatever hand gesture that you like. And so we are moving towards the end of the session. And you can stay in your meditation, you can come into Shavasana at any time. But I will conclude the session in a moment. But obviously you can just stay in Shavasana, you can stay in your meditation. Once you're ready to conclude, you can bring your palms to your heart. In a prayer, or simply your hands resting on your heart. And taking this moment to offer gratitude for this lunar cycle that's to come. And may we move into it with an open heart full of love and compassion, yet staying completely grounded, knowing that we are supported. We are part of this cosmic vibe, the universe. We are stardust. We are all stardust. And so from our hearts, gratitude to our bodies, our breath, and the time we've taken out to practice together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. One more breath like that, breathing in and out. Namaste. So, thank you so much for watching. I know on Instagram you will be switched off in a minute, but thank you for joining. And again, if you want to join another time, then we are here on Saturdays as well, on Wednesdays, and then this one on a Thursday. And you're very welcome to join us. It is free or donation based, So the donation is through PayPal, and the link should be in the description or on my website. And that's it. So if you have any other requests, if you joined the session, you can just write a little note saying you joined in today. You might be in meditation or shavasana, and then you can come back later and just say hello. So I think that's it for the moment. But thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the new lunar cycle. So namaste. Thank you. There we go. Lovely. Thank you, Lucy. It's so great to see you back on for our lunchtime classes. And you can, if you have space and time, you can stay in relaxation. Sometimes that's what we need. But I know also some of you are obviously working, and this is your lunchtime class. So yeah. So thank you. See you next time.